Hi and welcome. So today I want to share with you why distractions and even the healthy ones, they don't work to help us resolve our emotional eating. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Michelle. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist specializing in emotional eating. And so I wanted to talk about this because a lot of the times when we are emotional eaters, and I see this sometimes with clients, we think we have to do something when we're emotionally eating. We have to distract ourselves. We have to do something else. We have to go for a walk, take a shower. We need to go see someone. We have to get our needs met. And we think having our needs met means we have to do something. That's how our society, it's whenever uncomfortable emotions usually come up for us, we distract from it. We need to do something. We need to get rid of it right away. And that's what would have happened to have created this emotional eating pattern. So emotional eating is a coping mechanism, and it's something we would have developed when we're really young to sort of distract us from these uncomfortable emotions, to distract us, to not help. We didn't want to feel it because we didn't know what to do with it. It was uncomfortable. And so what would have happened is that our parents and caregivers, they wouldn't have modeled how to be with and move through our emotions. They wouldn't have held that calm space for us to move through it. And so we think something's wrong with emotions because they thought something was wrong with emotions, and our society as a whole thinks there's something wrong with emotions. The moment we feel an emotion and it's uncomfortable, we want to just do something. And we don't take the time to actually sit and be with that emotion, to hear the information it's trying to give us. We just want to run away. And so I've seen this with clients, and it's almost like our mind jumps in and wants us to just figure it out right away. This is not healthy for emotional eating. This actually perpetuates emotional eating, because emotional eating in and of itself is a coping mechanism. It's a distraction. So when we are distracting ourselves with food from what's really going on, and then we want to distract from our emotional eating with something else, we're just replacing a distraction with something else. We're not actually getting to the root of this pattern. And so emotional eating is really multi-layered. And when in that moment we can recognize we're emotionally eating and we jump to do something else, we're actually just sort of making that emotion grow bigger, because we are ignoring ourselves, we're avoiding ourselves, we're almost abandoning ourselves and neglecting ourselves, because that's what would have happened to us in these times of stress. And I know that sounds a little bit harsh, but it is what's happening in that moment. We keep running away from ourselves. And that's why we're in this hamster wheel of something's wrong with me, because we don't even understand what emotions are. We don't understand that the sensations, the discomfort in our body, they're information, and we need to allow them to move through them and to really hear what they're telling us. And something really simple they might be telling us, that we just need to be with them. We just need to feel the discomfort. We need to feel the sadness. We need to feel maybe the stress of the day. And then from there, when we really feel and be with them, it's almost like meeting a first need of looking at ourselves, being with ourselves, accepting ourselves, validating ourselves, understanding why we're feeling the way we're feeling, something we wouldn't have had. And then from there, we can take an action step. But when we jump into the action step, we lose whatever's happening in this moment. We're jumping to what we think we need versus finding out what we truly need. We're not turning towards ourselves. And this is a big thing that I see with a lot of clients. And I was the same way myself. When we're younger and we're not mirrored who we are, what we like, what we dislike, we're not honored for our emotions, we think something's wrong with us. And so we're constantly trying to figure out what do I need? What do I need? How do I figure that out? We weren't told to look within and to honor what our essence was and who we are. And so we're constantly trying to fix ourselves. And this doesn't mean that we don't need guidance to help us tune back into ourselves, which is the role I play for clients. But it is, really seeing what we need, being guided back to what we need so we can operate from that place versus from running away. And so this is something that I see with a lot of us. We avoid emotion. We avoid looking at what's really going on. We avoid situations. We avoid with people pleasing. We avoid our discomfort. We avoid a lot of things in our life because we don't know how to look at it. And so we've just been told to run away, and because we can't be with the discomfort. And the thing is, when we're able to really move through our emotional eating pattern, on the other side is our evolution. We have so much clarity and we know what we actually need. And so when we're in this moment, it's important to know that when you jump out of this and you go for a walk, or you take a shower, or you call a friend, you're avoiding yourself because you're almost using those things to jump out of you. If you are with someone that can hold space for you, really honors you, and can direct you back to yourself and what you need and hold that space, then that's different than venting. I've heard this from clients. It's almost like when they go to therapy, it's just a venting session. There's no resolution. There's no deep connection. It's like, yes, you get to offload whatever emotional charge has built up sort of on the surface, but you don't get that deep resolution. You get a momentary, temporary relief. And so this is not what we're looking for. We're looking for something that's actually going to help us drop in. And there's a big discernment. And so, in my own experience, when I was going through my emotional eating, when I was going to therapy, going into that session felt great. And I felt good, near the end of the session. But throughout the week, I didn't know what to do to actually feel better. And the tools that were given to me, change my thoughts or try this strategy or this, it didn't get into the root. I wasn't really in my body. I wasn't being with my emotions, and I wasn't looking at what was coming up on a deeper level to help me move forward more powerfully. I was trying to change things with my mind. And, I've shared this before, but our conscious mind is only 5%. Our subconscious is 95%. This pattern lives in that subconscious area. It's automatic. These beliefs, these things are ingrained. They are now behaviors, and we can't just use our conscious mind to change it. We have to use a specific way. We have to do this in a specific way where we're getting into the body, and we're also resolving trauma that created this pattern. So, some unresolved event happened, and this is how we decided to cope with it. This was the Band-Aid. It was emotional eating. And so if that emotion is there and we put emotional eating on top, or we put, going for a walk on top, or venting to a friend on top, we don't ever sink into what's going on under the surface. We don't ever learn how to regulate our nervous system, how to be with and process and integrate these emotions to find out what our true needs are, to meet our true needs on multiple levels so we can move forward. This is how we create that unhealthy relationship to food, because now food becomes this Band-Aid. And, we have this diet mentality also around it. So we're trying to get our needs met by restricting food, by having a certain body, and, by maybe being positive or avoiding our emotions. We're running away from ourselves time and time again. We're running away. And this is why, turning back towards yourself, connecting back to food, your body, and your emotions is going to help you with this, because you're no longer distracting. And this is why acceptance is also so important. Acceptance in all areas. It doesn't mean you like or love yourself. It means you're looking at the reality of what's going on. And that's where you can start creating true change. When we are critical of ourselves, when we're negative about ourselves, we're constantly running away from ourselves to the next best thing that's going to fix us. This is not how it works. We need to actually get into those emotions. We need to get into this pattern to shift it, to resolve it. We're sold so many surface solutions, and some of these things, they're simple to do if we don't have resistance to them. But if we've been in this pattern for so long, there's a lot of resistance. And, that first step, it might not feel, amazing to have to stop and be with your emotional eating. But one of my clients said, you run away and you avoid for so long that when you turn towards yourself, it's like a sinking in, and it's like, it's real and it feels different, and you're no longer trying to avoid. And this is how we can move through. We don't want to distract from a distraction. We want to get to the root. And so inside of the Emotional Eating Evolution program, you're guided through this in 3 key main areas. Through food, your connection to food. So you're no longer avoiding food. You're looking at how you nourish your body with food, and you're not ignoring this and restricting so that you're triggered into emotional eating. You are looking at your body, its rhythms and rituals and what it needs, so you're no longer in the shame spiral triggering emotional eating. And then, of course, you are being, with the emotions that are coming up, actually learning how to be with, process, and integrate them, get into the roots of it to meet your true needs, to find out what your true needs are, so you can move forward powerfully. So you're actually being with and processing these emotions, resolving trauma at a body level. So there's no avoidance here. This is about connecting you back to you, because when we avoid, we disconnect from ourselves. When we turn towards ourselves, there's connection, and that's where resolution lies. So there is a nuance to all of this. There's a nuance to connecting to yourself, and there's a nuance to sort of chasing things and avoiding your emotional eating because you think something's wrong with you. When you look at your emotional eating pattern as a doorway, you turn towards it versus running away from it to the next thing. So if this is resonating for you and you'd like to find out more about the Emotional Eating Evolution Program, you can check out more at the link below. If you have any questions about what I've shared, please be sure to let me know, and please be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't. And I thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to sharing more with you, and I hope you have a great day.